What did you say?
This is kind of different.
Yeah.
The way the scene is.
Yeah. It's a smaller area. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All the games and things.
Yeah, it's the team that plays out of here. This is their showcase. I liked it. He won't say. They all gave him some money, but this is the one he went for the interview with for the scholarship was Michigan Tech. Um, he got First game of the weekend is going to be against Honeybaked. We're going to be short Danny Reynolds today. Onak and Paulo are still hurt, but they're on the bench in helmets only. And Reynolds got called up to Chippewa for the weekend. We're going to start out with Nietzsche, Letcher, Credidio, Campbell, and Miller. Dabrowski is in net. Nietzsche to take the face-off. Puck is dropped. It goes behind Credidio. Honeybaked dumps it in. Dabrowski plays it to Campbell. Campbell sends it around for Letcher, kept in by Honeybaked. Back to Campbell. Campbell, puck bounces off of his stick and knocked back down by Honeybaked behind the net for Miller. Miller sends the puck up off of the boards, and it's going to go for an icing. 17-minute periods for this game. I'm not sure if the ice cut's going to come in the middle or after the second. Puck won by Honeybank, thrown down into the middle, hits off of Nietzsche and Miller. Nietzsche puts it behind for Miller to play. Miller sends off the boards, kept in by Honeybank. Shot on Dabrowski, kick save over to the sideboard. Campbell brings it up the near board and then brought back down by Credidio, knocked off of the puck. Honeybaked, quick shot, saved Dabrowski. Miller takes it away and then over to Campbell. Campbell up for Letcher. Letcher cross for Credidio. Credidio sends it in and goes for a change. Pulauskas comes on the ice. D changes. Aldridge and Przgintis on the ice. Aldridge, good stick, knocks that away. Przgintis picks it up, looking for Letcher. Back to Aldridge. Kushkowski, Pulauskas, and Bergeron now on the ice. Puck up the sideboard. Kept in by Przgintis, sent back down. Puck around, Kushkowski is there. Aldridge keeps it in. Back into the corner. Pulauskas over to the sideboard. Puck gets knocked out by Honeybaked past Przgintis. Kushkowski picks it up, sends it for Bergeron. Bergeron chips it in. Pulauskas on the forecheck. Honeybaked over to the far board, and then they try to center. Kept in by Bergeron. He's got Kushkowski in front. Kushkowski shot gets blocked. He had a lane, but stick on the puck. Puck goes behind. Honeybaked back up into neutral ice, taken away by Rubicki. Campbell comes back on the ice. Brown comes on for Bergeron. Brown chips it up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas chips forward for Kushkowski, taken by Honeybaked. Kruger comes on with Chalicki. 14:43 remaining in the period. Puck over to the sideboard. Brown over to help. Kruger takes the loose puck. Goes behind Dabrowski. Over to Campbell. Campbell to Chalicki. Centers through to Kruger. Kruger puts a puck through into the corner. Honeybaked knocks it out. Miller and Campbell coming back to get it. Dabrowski plays it up for Kruger. Kruger chips in. Honeybaked from behind their own net up to the ice, stopped by Przgintis, thrown back up, taken away by Brown. Brown sends it forward. It hits the official. Kruger knocks it loose. Honeybaked dumps back in. Przgintis reverse for Miller. Miller to Chalicki, gets intercepted. Back to Miller. Miller tries to stick handle pass one, gets knocked back to Przgintis. Przgintis hard around for Brown. Brown gets it up for Kruger. It just misses Kruger's stick, and then Honeybaked sends it in. Brown changes. Letcher comes on with Nietzsche. Chalicki still out, trying to stretch past. Przgintis gives the puck to Letcher and changes. Carter is on the ice. Carter gets a hit. Honeybaked picks up the loose puck. Letcher gets a hit. Puck comes up the sideboard. Honeybaked enters, gets past Rubicki. Backhand shot. Dabrowski with the save. Then it's knocked away. Carter muscles it off the boards and gets it to Rubicki. Knocked away from Rubicki, back to Carter. Up to Letcher. Letcher trying to pass it to Nietzsche. Good job by Aldridge to knock the puck away. Gets up to Carter. Carter goes cross ice for Rubicki. Rubicki to Letcher. Letcher chips forward for Carter. Carter in the corner, puts it down low for Letcher. Letcher up for Nietzsche. Nietzsche sends it back to Letcher. Pinned on the boards. Carter comes to help. Puck still moving. Carter just kicking it forward little by little. Finally gets it and turns around. Gets it to Nietzsche in the slot. Nietzsche's shot is blocked. Puck makes its way to Rubicki. Rubicki save off of the pad of the goaltender. Another shot attempt gets deflected into the neutral zone. Letcher and Carter change. Bergeron and Credidio come out. Honeybaked brings it in. Campbell sends it up the boards for Credidio. Kowski's on as well. Campbell picks it up, passes over to Credidio. Credidio tries to work it up the boards. It gets kept in by Honeybaked. Cross ice to Rubicki. Rubicki gets it to Berge. Honeybaked knocks it away. Miller comes on the ice. Campbell goes and gets it. Campbell to Miller. Miller up the near board. Miller avoids a stick check, brings it in. Shot goes wide of the net into the corner. Campbell knocks it back into the corner. Bergeron working on the corner against three. Puck knocked loose to Honeybaked. They tried to go high off of the glass. Credidio knocks it down. Puck comes loose. Kushkowski, good stick, gets the puck over to Credidio. Credidio sends that in. Kruger comes on for Kushkowski. Kruger, good anticipation, knocks that puck off of the boards, but then it's knocked away from him. Honeybaked back in the neutral. Bergeron, good stick. Honeybaked still in control, but they've only got one guy in. Forced to send it around. Bergeron is on the far board, works it back down, still has it, drops for Przgintis. Przgintis from behind Dabrowski decides he's going to carry it. Carries past Credidio, takes a hit, but Kruger is there. Kruger in the corner, looking for help. Przgintis is down low. Brown and Pulauskas are on. Puck goes cross ice. Pulauskas was there, forcing Honeybaked to turn around. Good stick lift by Kruger. Puck over to Aldridge. Aldridge up for Pulauskas. Pulauskas coming in on from behind the net. Puck pushed over to the sideboard where Brown is. Knocks it back down low, but Pulauskas is tied up. Honeybaked goes around. Rubicki picks it off the boards. Over to Kruger. Kruger shot off of the glove. Pulauskas gets a stick on it. Shot goes wide. Honeybaked trying to get past Pulauskas. Spins. Brown knocks that puck down. Rubicki sends it on the sideboard. Rubicki knocks the puck over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas and Brown working. Brown chips it over to Campbell. Campbell sends it in. Pulauskas goes for a change. Nietzsche has come on the ice. Rubicki gloves that down and then knocks it over off the sideboard. Cross for Chalicki. Chalicki working. Gets the puck knocked away. and then Honeybaked's going to ice. 9:20 to go, 9:19 to go, and 9:18 to go.
I don't want to walk in front of the
Carter, Chalicki, Nietzsche, Miller, and Prisgintis face off underneath feet, dug out by Carter. Carter in the corner trying to kick it over to Nietzsche, knocked away by Honeybaked. Honeybaked working up the sideboard. Miller gets in the way of that. Nietzsche comes over and helps out. Puck gets back down the sideboard and up to Nietzsche. Nietzsche tried to get a backhand pass over to Chalicki, gets intercepted by Honeybaked, and they send it down for another icing. Same personnel. Honeybaked wins that face-off. They go behind their goaltender and up the boards. A couple chip passes miss. Nietzsche escapes and brings it to regroup. Puck up to Prisgintis. Prisgintis ahead for Chalicki. Chalicki tried to put it in off of the boards. It didn't quite make it, but he gets it back, sends it across for Carter. Nietzsche, nice pass over to Chalicki. Puck goes behind the net, and Nietzsche sends it up for Aldridge, who gives it back to Chalicki. Chalicki's shot is blocked. Honeybaked's pass attempt is blocked by Carter. Chalicki knocks it over to Carter. Carter behind the net. Over to Kushkowski in the corner. Up for Aldridge. Aldridge's shot is deflected in front. Carter battling. Puck's still loose. Nobody knows where it is. It was in the goalie's blocker. 7:52 to go in the first. Still 0-0. Letcher, Kushkowski, Bergeron, Aldridge, and Rybicki on the ice. Kushkowski wins that back to Aldridge. Aldridge sends it down into the corner. Kushkowski battling. Bergeron over to help. Puck knocked over by Kushkowski, back up to Aldridge. Cross for Rybicki. Rybicki's shot deflected in front and then into netting. Kushkowski wins that clean to Letcher. Letcher's shot is deflected and goes up into the roofing. Honeybaked pushes that puck into the corner. Letcher gets a hold of it before they could get it off of the glass. Puck comes loose over to Kushkowski. He goes cross ice. Aldridge tries to put that forward. It's knocked back by Honeybaked. Over to Rybicki now. To Bergeron. Bergeron sends it in. Kushkowski coming in. Played by the goaltender. Over to Letcher. Letcher cross ice for Rybicki. Bounced off of Rybicki's stick and into neutral ice. Aldridge sends it up to Kushkowski. Kushkowski gets a little shove. Puck goes back, but Fury's still in control. Aldridge sending for Bergeron. Gets deflected by Honeybaked, and they regroup in their own zone. Campbell's come on the ice. Kushkowski changes. Kruger comes on. Puck to Bergeron on the sideboard. Kruger gets a stick on it. Ferdidio's on the ice. Letcher picks up that puck. Ferdidio tries to take it around, but it's knocked back in by Honeybaked. Miller to Campbell. Campbell takes a hit. Puck to Kruger. Kruger sends it in. Goes into the corner. Fletcher comes off, and Pulauskas comes on. Dabrowski plays it to Campbell. Campbell back down low for Miller. Honeybaked gets it right in front. Nobody there to stop it, but Dabrowski does. Puck just bounced right in front where Honeybaked was waiting. Presidio bumps into Kruger. Puck gets knocked over to Honeybaked. Honeybaked sends up. Kruger goes for a change. Nietzsche comes on. Puck all in skates. Honeybaked trying to knock it away. Makes its way over to Nietzsche and then Pulauskas. Pulauskas' shot goes wide. Honeybaked coming up the ice. And that'll go for an icing. 5:03 to go in the first. Brown and Chalicki are going to join Nietzsche. Nietzsche takes the face-off. Puck goes to the corner. Honeybaked sends it around. Stolen by Przgintis. Przgintis cross for Chalicki. Chalicki sends it forward for Nietzsche, but another stick by Honeybaked knocks that loose. Brown gets a hold of it and sends it back in. We have to tag up. We were off sides. Honeybaked sends it to the corner. Aldridge ties up. Nietzsche sends it around for Chalicki. Chalicki, puck gets knocked away. They get a shot on. Aldridge ties up, making sure a shot can't happen. Chalicki skates through one, sends it across for Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to get a shot, gets blocked. Brown comes back to get in front. Honeybaked has to send the puck down. Dabrowski stops it and then sends it up for Chalicki. Kushkowski comes on the ice for Nietzsche. Brown picks the puck up from Chalicki, then sends it to Kush. Over to Campbell, gets knocked away. Brown over to help again. Chalicki sends it back for Rubicki. Brown and Chalicki change. Carter comes on, and Bergeron. Rubicki from behind Dabrowski sends it over to Campbell. Campbell sends it up to Kush. Kushkowski in the middle tries to pass over to Carter, knocked away by Honeybaked. Bergeron tries to pin that puck. Honeybaked through the middle of the ice, chips forward and changes. 3:25 to go in the period. Dabrowski leaves it for Miller, who gets it to Przgintis, over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski up to Carter. Carter into the zone, over to Bergeron. Bergeron back to Carter. Shot. Save and knocked over to the corner by Honeybaked. Miller came down to help. Kruger's on the ice. Puck knocked away from Carter, but Przgintis sends it back down the ice, and we regroup. Pulauskas comes on for Bergeron. Honeybaked trying to get past RD, goes wide and sends it down behind Dabrowski to the opposite corner. Aldridge gets a stick on it. Honeybaked in the corner. Kruger knocks the puck away from his man. Puck's still loose on the sideboard. Honeybaked sends it on Miller, and Miller sends it up looking for Carter. Carter gets knocked off the puck. Honeybaked sends it back down. Dabrowski plays it behind for Rubicki. 2:20 to go. Puck up to Aldridge, over to Carter. Honeybaked gets to that loose puck first and sends it back in. Rubicki for Pulauskas, kept in by Honeybaked, and then finally cleared, giving Kruger a chance to change. Carter changes. Fletcher comes on the ice with Pulauskas. Nietzsche on. Pulauskas in the corner. Puck gets sent around. Rubicki keeps it in. Rubicki has to send it into the corner. Honeybaked hard around again. hits off of Letcher, but back to Honeybaked, and then they go cross ice. Rubicki gets a stick on, but they get a shot on Dabrowski, puck from behind Dabrowski up the sideboard, sent back down. Rubicki picks it up and sends it for Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to chip forward for Pulauskas. Honeybaked sends it back in. Slowed down again by Dabrowski over to Campbell. Minute 15 to go in the period. Rubicki for Pulauskas. Pulauskas to the corner. Back to Letcher. Letcher's shot pushed to the side. Honeybaked back the other way. Up the far board, trying to get past Campbell. Hits off of Campbell's skate. Letcher picks it up. Letcher couldn't quite get a hold of it. Honeybaked is offsides. 49.6 seconds to go. Credidio, Brown, Kushkowski on the ice. Puck one back. Credidio sends it to Miller, who goes cross for Krasgintis. Up for Kushkowski. Puck gets stuck on the sideboard. Puck bounces off of Honeybaked's shin pad. Brown gets a hold of that puck. He gets hooked. And the puck gets knocked away. Honeybaked trying to come back in. Brown over to help. Miller had him tied up. Puck's on the sideboard now. Over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski enters. And then it gets knocked out of play. 12.2 seconds to go. Kushkowski to take the draw. Credidio and Miller offset. Honeybaked wins it back. Sends it up the sideboard. Miller keeps it in, puts it on net. Puck on the sideboard. Credidio tries to send it forward, gets blocked. Then he sends it hard around, and that'll be the end of the first. So after one, it's 0-0. We're going to start the second period with Bergeron, Kruger, Chalicki, Aldridge, and Rubicki. Honeybaked wins that face-off back and then sends it up the sideboard and in. And they're going to say that's an ice, didn't touch anybody. Face-off, won by Honeybaked, sent around, but it doesn't quite get there. Rubicki picks it up, goes behind the net. Over the far board for Chalicki, and then cross-ice pass, intercepted, Honeybaked off sides. Kruger wins that faceoff to Rubicki. Rubicki to Kruger, shipped up. Bergeron gets a stick on it. Honeybaked back in neutral ice, enters, comes into the slot, hits off of the post, puck up to Chalicki. Chalicki gets the puck knocked away. Honeybaked back in, never came out to begin with. Kruger takes that puck away, gets tied up, and Honeybaked in the corner. Rubicki took a little bit of a stumble, but gets back up. Puck gets cleared. Kruger on the forecheck. Honeybaked up the sideboard. Bergeron over to tie up. Loose puck to Honeybaked. And now Honeybaked's off sides. Polauskas on the ice with Nietzsche. Bergeron goes for a change. Letter comes on. Rubicki knocks that puck out of the air. Gets it back for Nietzsche. Nietzsche sends it around, but it goes out of play. Letcher, Polauskas, Nietzsche on the ice, Campbell and Miller at D. Nietzsche takes the draw, it's stuck underneath, both centers are tied up. Polauskas knocks the puck loose. Honeybaked, however, picks it up as Polauskas lost his stick. Miller to Campbell, over to Nietzsche, Nietzsche up to Letcher, Letcher up the sideboard, waits, goes cross ice for Miller. Miller taps it to Campbell, Campbell to Polauskas, Polauskas enters. Polauskas tries to toe drag pass, couldn't get through the D, loose puck over to the corner. They try to send across. Nietzsche gloves it down and then sends it in the zone. Played by the Honeybaked goaltender, left it behind. Polauskas gets a stick on it, but falls down. Honeybaked sends it up the boards, and that pass misses and goes for an icing. 14:51 to go in the second. Credidio, Brown, and Kushkowski on the ice with Prisgintis and Aldridge. Face-off, won by Honeybaked, but Credidio comes over to the sideboard and forces them to change direction. Puck in front, and then pushed over to the far board. Prisgintis steps in front of that dump in and puts it forward. It hits off of Honeybaked's stick. Honeybaked sends it off of the glass. Got a pretty nice hit on that, but puck comes into the neutral zone. A high dump in on Dabrowski, and he blocks it to the corner. Puck still on the sideboard. Credidio, Kushkowski, and Prisgintis working. Puck to Prisgintis. Knocks over to Kushkowski, who tried to get it out from behind the net. Does get it to Credidio. Credidio's pass cross ice for Brown gets intercepted by Honeybaked, but then knocked back to Aldridge. Aldridge gets it to Kushkowski, who's got Brown. Brown shot off of the blocker and out of play. 13:52 to go. Kruger, Chalicki, and Carter on the ice. Face off one back to Rubicki. Rubicki spins around a guy, goes to the corner. Kruger sends that puck up to Carter, and then Carter sends it back down for Rubicki. Honeybaked sends it to the opposite corner, taken away by Kruger. Kruger now tied up in the corner. Carter over to help. Honeybaked sends it around, kept in by Rubicki. Rubicki, nice touch, avoids the Honeybaked player and sends the puck down low. Chalicki on the sideboard trying to battle around. Puck still in the corner, gets tied up, and Honeybaked still on the sideboard. Chalicki still battling, gets it back. Chalicki, a little punch stop, and then a behind the back pass to Campbell. Campbell's shot is deflected in front. Kruger's tied up. Honeybaked gets it back and comes up the boards. Carter tries to get a hit. That's a big boy. Puck tied up on the sideboard, dug out by Carter over to Campbell. Campbell at Kruger. Kruger, shot is blocked. Honeybaked sends it forward. They've got a 2-on-1. Pulauskas had gotten back. Shot goes high above Dabrowski and then rolls on him. Dabrowski covers. Bergeron, Nietzsche, Pulauskas with Miller and Prisgintis. Face off, controlled by Miller. Miller gets a pass up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas shot off of the blocker, bounces in front. Honeybaked sends it to the corner and then up into neutral ice. Pulauskas knocks that puck away and then sends it into the neutral zone. Bergeron and a couple Honeybaked players along with Pulauskas all collide. Honeybaked regroups. Puck goes back into the zone. Miller sends it over for Prisgintis. Prisgintis up the boards, makes its way to Bergeron. Bergeron ties up. Honeybaked sends it back in. Prisgintis escapes and draws a penalty. We're going to go on the power play. So high stick. And we're going to send out a power play unit. So 11:41 to go. Honeybaked 2 minutes for high sticking. Honeybaked clears. It goes all the way back. Campbell picks up. Over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski's got space up the boards. He enters. Back up to Campbell. Campbell on the blue line goes across for Chalicki. Chalicki cross for Kushkowski back to Campbell. Campbell to Chalicki up to Brown. Knocked away. Puck into the middle of the ice and Honeybaked clears. Dabrowski leaves it for Campbell. Kushkowski up the sideboard. Brings it down low. Goes behind the goaltender and puts the puck up for Chalicki. Chalicki to Campbell. Campbell to Kushkowski. Kushkowski's shot hits into the corner. Honeybaked clears. And we'll get a change. 53 seconds to go on the power play. Pulauskas, Nietzsche, Letcher come on the ice with Rubicki and Campbell. Letcher streaking down the sideboard. Carries in. Campbell changes. Prisgintis comes on. Nietzsche gets the puck to Letcher. Letcher to Prisgintis. Prisgintis shot low. Puck gets knocked to the backboard. Goaltender was a little disoriented for a second. Prisgintis carries in. Rubicki to Pulauskas. Back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis for Letcher, chips it on net. Puck is loose. Letcher digs it out and gets it to Prisgintis. Prisgintis fakes a shot, passes over to Letcher. We're even. Nietzsche and Letcher trying to dig that puck out. Honeybaked clears. Prisgintis sends the puck in. 9:21 to go. We'll get a line change. Kruger, Bergeron, and Credidio on the ice. Honeybaked knocks the puck away, goes into the backboard. Campbell gets the puck up for Credidio, kept in by Honeybaked. Campbell wins the puck battle, goes behind Dabrowski, and then sends the puck on the sideboard for Kruger. Official in the way, Kruger gets knocked off of the puck, but then is able to freeze it. Campbell over to help, gets the loose puck out. Bergeron pushes the puck over to Credidio. Credidio enters, gets a spot in the middle, takes a shot, blocker save. Puck over to the corner, Credidio tied up, Bergeron over to help, puck gets knocked down behind the goaltender. Kushkowski comes on with Brown. Miller steals that puck. Brown puts it in front. It gets knocked away. Chalicki comes on the ice. Puck pushed back over to Aldridge. Up for Kushkowski. Kushkowski sends it in. It's played by the goaltender. Brown comes over. Honeybaked tries to send it in. It does make it, but Prisgintis sends it off of the glass and into neutral ice. Honeybaked back up. Kushkowski takes it away, gives it over to Aldridge. Aldridge up for Chalicki. Chalicki takes a hit. Honeybaked sends it back in. Aldridge to Prisgintis. Prisgintis looking for Brown. Brown knocks it down, gives it to Kushkowski. Kushkowski across for Chalicki. Chalicki, slap shot, knocked into the corner. Put up to Rubicki. Rubicki, good job keeping that puck out. Honeybaked sends it, and then we play it high. So that puck's going to go into our zone. We'll get a change. Nietzsche, Carter, Pulauskas come on the ice. Fury get kicked out. Pulauskas comes in to take the draw for Nietzsche. Face off in some feet, picked up by Rubicki. And Rubicki tries to clear it, but it goes into the netting. Puck pushed to the backboard. Honeybaked ties it up. Nietzsche digs that out, but it gets tied up in the corner. Rubicki comes over to help. Puck on the sideboard. Rubicki and Pulauskas trying to dig that out. Comes loose to Pulauskas. He gets it up to Carter. Knocked away from Carter. Honeybaked regroups. Sends that puck down. Dabrowski slows it down for Campbell. Campbell sends it up off of the boards for Carter. Honeybaked puts it back in, back to Campbell. Campbell to Pulauskas. Pulauskas' pass is knocked away. Honeybaked gets a shot. Dabrowski, big save, and then knocks it to the corner. That's two bounces Honeybaked's gotten right in front of Dabrowski. He's been able to knock them both away. Nietzsche gets slashed. We're going to go back on the power play. So they're going to get two, one for a slash, and another going to get a unsportsmanlike. Unsportsmanlike came after, so it's going to be 5-on-4. Taunting of the official. Carter, Brown, Balicki, Kushkowski, and Campbell out for the power play. 5:52 to go in the second. Brown pushes that back to Campbell, who goes across for Kushkowski. Kushkowski to Campbell. Campbell's pass attempt gets knocked, but he keeps control, gets it to Kushkowski. Down low for Carter. Carter to Kushkowski, back to Campbell. Campbell to Kushkowski, back to Campbell. Campbell shot's deflected. It goes into the corner. Campbell pushes it over to Kushkowski again. Back to Chalicki. Chalicki across for Kush. Back up to Campbell. One-timer down low. Carter takes a hit to the face. Looks like he's all right. Puck back up to Campbell. Over to Kush. Kushkowski gets a shot. It's deflect and into the netting. 5:10 to go in the period. Minute 18. Rubicki sends that back down for Nietzsche over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas, Letcher, and Nietzsche on the ice with Prisgintis and Rubicki. Prisgintis passes to Nietzsche. Nietzsche deflects, but it goes, or tries to tip. It goes wide. Prisgintis back down for Nietzsche. Over to Rubicki. Rubicki has a lane. He carries it in. Saved by the goaltender. Puck makes his way back to Prisgintis. Over to Rubicki. Cross ice for Pulauskas. Pulauskas up to Letcher. Across for Rubicki. Under pass to Nietzsche again. Shot goes wide. It's tough in the middle there. Everybody's got to stick on the shooter in the middle. Honeybaked really doesn't give a lot in the middle of the ice. Prisgintis shot saved and pushed aside. Prisgintis picks up a loose puck. Gets knocked away. Honeybaked clears. There's 10 seconds to go on the power play. Prisgintis brings the puck in with Nietzsche. Knocked away by Honeybaked. They've got the guy out of the box going across ice. Miller sees it and knocks it loose. Letcher ties up his man. Picked up by Miller. Miller tries to send that ahead. Gloved by Honeybaked and then sent across. Back into the corner for Letcher. Letcher working. Miller is going to get a penalty. So we're going to see our first kill. Miller for slashing. .331 to go in the second. Miller, 2 minutes for slashing. Bergeron, Kushkowski, Aldridge, and Campbell out for the kill. Honeybaked sends it down. They go over to the corner. Campbell working. Puck gets back up to the point. Bergeron forces that to go down the sideboard. Aldridge keeps him there. They go back up to the point. Bergeron out to challenge. Puck back to the sideboard. Walked in. Low shot on Dabrowski. Puck is loose. Honeybaked digs that out of the pile and goes up the sideboard. D-switch positions. Puck goes down low again over the blocker side of Dabrowski. Minute 12 to go on the kill. Honeybaked circling, brings it back up to the point. Back to the sideboard again. Cross-ice pass deflected. Honeybaked back up to the blue line. Back door, one-timer, save Dabrowski. Campbell sends the puck forward. Honeybaked keeps it in. Loose puck again, middle of the ice. Another shot off of the helmet of Dabrowski and into the netting. Letcher comes out the kill with Chalicki, Brzgintis, and Rybicki. Puck sent forward by Rybicki. Letcher's going to get there. Played by the goaltender over Honeybaked. 2 cross-ice passes, and they're going to enter in on the left side, come down the boards, and then put it back up to the blue line. Sent back around behind Dabrowski. Brzgintis over to the corner. Honeybaked digs it out. Brzgintis battling hard. Puck gets knocked away. Honeybaked over to the sideboard. 7 seconds to go. Quick shot. Dabrowski deflects it back. Rybicki picks it up and then sends it into the middle of the ice. Penalties expired, and that'll be an ice. Minute 28 to go in the second. Credidio, Kruger, and Brown on the ice with Miller and Campbell. Kruger to take the faceoff. Kruger goes early, gets kicked out. Credidio comes in to take the faceoff. Puck over to the sideboard. Miller sends it around for Kruger. Kruger tries to chip it up the boards, but it gets knocked back to Campbell. Puck makes it to the neutral zone. Brown comes up to challenge. Cross-ice pass. Gets past Kruger, and a shot on Dabrowski pushed over to the side. Credidio sends it around the sideboard. Brown gets a stick on it, and it goes into Dabrowski's glove. 1 minute to go. We'll get a change. Nietzsche, Carter, Pulauskas are going to come on. Aldridge and Rybicki at D. Rybicki sends that over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas had trouble handling it, sends it up to Carter. Carter touch pass to Nietzsche. Nietzsche enters the zone. Nietzsche shot in front. The clock runs a good 2 seconds off. .6 seconds to go. Same personnel out there. Aldridge sends it to Carter. Carter sends it back to Aldridge, but over to the side. Rybicki to Nietzsche, over to Carter. Carter shot hits off of the glass, bounces past Pulauskas. Carter pins it on the boards. It goes to Rybicki. Rybicki shot goes wide. Aldridge puts it back down for Pulauskas, bounces past Pulauskas. Honeybaked reverses course and goes up the far board. Cross-ice pass hits off of their own player. Pulauskas waits for Carter to tag up. 4 seconds to go. Rybicki to Aldridge. And that'll be the end of the second. So we'll go to ice cut, tied up 0-0. Oh, forgot that was in there.
Oh, how long's that been?
A week?
Really?
I mean, 4 days.
Looks pretty good considering.
Smells a little ripe. Was from Monday, I think. Come.
How far is it?
Huh?
How far is it from your house?
An hour.
Oh, it's far.
Depends on traffic. Start of the third period, we're going to go with Letcher, Nietzsche, Presidio, Presgintis, and Aldridge. Honeybaked wins that faceoff back over to the sideboard, knocked down by Presidio, but still entered the zone by Honeybaked over in the corner. Centering pass misses, kept in by V. Shot goes wide, knocked aside by Presidio. Nietzsche sends it across ice for Letcher in the corner. Letcher takes a look. Puck knocked back over the corner. Honeybaked comes up the far board. Tries to make a pass. Presidio knocks it away over to Letcher. Letcher and Presidio have a 2-on-1. Letcher shot off of the paddle. Presidio back down low for Letcher. Letcher looking for Kushkowski. Makes its way to Rubicki. Rubicki's shot into the glove of the Honeybaked goaltender. Chalicki and Polauskas join Kushkowski. Rubicki and Campbell at D. 16:15 to go in the game. Kushkowski comes in, take the face-off, push over to the sideboard. Chalicki tries to dig it out. Honeybaked sends it up into neutral ice. Rubicki going to take it all the way back behind Dabrowski. Over to Campbell. Campbell to Kushkowski. Kushkowski chips in. Played by the goaltender. Polauskas comes in and forces the goaltender to play up the boards. Kushkowski knocks it down, tries to center a pass to Polauskas, taken away by Honeybaked. Dabrowski plays up for Kushkowski, bounces off of his glove. Honeybaked regroups and sends it back up the board. Chalicki takes it off of the board, knocked away from Chalicki. Honeybaked up the sideboard. Good job by Rubicki to stand in front of that. Puck hits off of Chalicki. He picks it up and shot is blocked. Honeybaked up the near board. Kruger comes on the ice. Good stick lift by Miller. He tries to send that forward. Puck makes its way to Chalicki. Chalicki chips ahead for Prisgintis. Prisgintis shot off of the goaltender into the corner. Bergeron on the ice. Brown comes on the ice. Kruger knocks the puck away, but it goes into neutral territory. Cross for Miller. Miller sends it back to the corner. Bergeron goes in up the sideboard where Kruger is waiting, and then past Kruger. Brown tries to get a stick on it. Honeybaked still sends forward. Miller and Kruger in the corner. Puck comes up to the Honeybaked D, sends it back down around. Prisgintis knocks it up the sideboard, bounces past Honeybaked and into neutral ice. Kruger knocks that down, takes a hit onto the sideboard. Puck goes behind the goaltender. Bergeron steps in front of that. He gets hooked. Picked up by Rubicki, knocked away from Rubicki, kept in by Nietzsche. Nietzsche still with it, sends it in. Nietzsche and Brown giving pressure. Nietzsche on him. Puck goes across. Rubicki gets a hold of it. Brown goes for a change. Carter is on the ice, and Letcher. Aldridge with Rubicki. Honeybaked goes for their own change. Aldridge picks up the puck behind Dabrowski. Up for Letcher. Letcher across for Campbell. Campbell chips it in, takes a big hit. Honeybaked centering, misses. Campbell sends it back up the boards for Nietzsche. Nietzsche ahead for Carter. Knocked away from Carter behind the goaltender. Letcher over to the corner. Stolen by Kushkowski. Carter one-timer underneath the pad, and it's in. So it should be Carter from Kushkowski. Or did Kush push it in? Looks like Kush pushed it in, so Kushkowski from Carter. The Kush push, yes. Kushkowski, Polauskas, Presidio on the ice. Polauskas picks that puck up out from underneath. It gets deflected and into the netting. Puck comes off of the boards. Credidio puts it up for Polauskas. Prusgintis' stick got thrown across the ice. He goes for a change. Campbell comes on. Credidio steps in front of that pass, forcing Honeybaked to regroup. Krzyzkowski knocks that puck down, hits off of the linesman. Honeybaked comes over and battles. Credidio over to help. Honeybaked gets it off of the boards, but over to Aldridge. Aldridge hits off of the back of a Honeybaked player over the corner for Polauskas. Spots his pass for Krzyzkowski, intercepted. Honeybaked has 3 going the other way. Good tie up by Aldridge. Puck over to Campbell in the corner. Credidio over to help. Puck back down low for Honeybaked. Honeybaked trying to get past Aldridge. They get a shot on. It hits off of, sounded like the paddle. Another shot goes high off of the glass. Krzyzkowski gets a stick on the loose puck and then sends it out. Saying that it was tipped, so no icing. We get a change. Kruger, Chalicki, and Bergeron come on. Honeybaked shot goes wide behind Dabrowski, chipped up by Chalicki to Kruger. Honeybaked gets in the way and puts it back down the boards. Trying to get past Rybicki. Rybicki ties up. Chalicki gonna get a high stick penalty. 11:0 or 10:59 to go. Rybicki finally touches up Chalicki for high sticking, which it's a valid penalty. Chalicki hit him in the back of the head. We're going to send out a kill unit. It'll be Nietzsche and Letcher. Miller and Campbell. Face off. One back and then sent around, kept in by Honeybaked. Honeybaked centering pass, deflected over to the corner. Working up the boards. And then back down low. A shot on Dabrowski. But he was pinned against the post, so the puck dropped down into his glove. 10:36 to go, minute 40 on the kill. Honeybaked tried to get a late change, sent back to the bench. Face off, one for the corner again. Campbell sends it around for Letcher, bounces past Honeybaked and on back onto their goaltender. He plays it up the boards, but it misses. Luckily, it hit the lineman for them because it slowed it down. But that play ticked off a good 20 seconds of the kill. Honeybaked brings it in. Centering pass. Dabrowski, 2 quick saves. Letcher sends that puck up the boards ahead for Nietzsche. Honeybaked steps in front of it and goes back the other way. They get a change. Letcher and Nietzsche both pushing to the side. Honeybaked decides to go down low behind Dabrowski. Miller ties up. Puck to the opposite corner. Campbell comes over. Miller gets a stick. It goes on Campbell. Campbell clears. We'll get a change. Bergeron and Krzyzkowski come on the ice with Aldridge and Prusgintis. Krzyzkowski trying to push to the side. Honeybaked comes in wide on the other way. Behind Dabrowski and then back up to the point. Down low again. Both Prusgintis and Krzyzkowski giving some pressure. Prusgintis knocks it away. Gets a shot. Rebound comes in the middle. Honeybaked has to push it over to the sideboard and regroup again. 3 seconds to go. Chalicki's penalty is over. Brown comes on the ice. Prusgintis Tries to get it to Brown. It's picked up by Honeybaked. They send it back down. Again, just slows it down or sends it around for Bergeron, but again kept in. He gets it up the boards for Brown. Brown in a foot race. He's going to get to it first, but knocked off by the larger defenseman, Rybicki. Brown knocks the guy off of the puck. Krzyzkowski and Rybicki in. Brown on the back door. Krzyzkowski coming around. Tries to set it in front for Rybicki. It's still loose. Honeybaked picks up and goes the other way. Carter comes on the ice. Shot is blocked by Campbell. Campbell gets tackled. Puck over to Krzyzkowski. He flips it ahead for Carter. Carter misses, but he comes back onside. Honeybaked has to regroup. Kruger giving good pressure. Puck gets deflected. Brown gets off the ice, and Credidio comes on. Puck knocked away from Kruger, and Rybicki knocks it away, but back into the corner for Honeybaked. Honeybaked centering, goes underneath Dabrowski, and he covers. 7:28 to go in the game. Fury with the 1-goal lead, 1-0. Kruger, Didio, Chalicki, Brzgintis, and Miller. Honeybaked picks that puck up, tries to send it forward. Miller knocks it, but it finds its way back to Honeybaked. Honeybaked looking for a behind the back pass, gets deflected. Brzgintis sends it up for Chalicki. Chalicki and Credidio on 2-on-1, trying to get back. Credidio pass, he's got it, but Honeybaked caught up to him, so he sends it back down low. Puck comes around, Aldridge is going to keep it in. Sends it down low for Chalicki. Chalicki's got Credidio in the middle. He takes a hit, but still keeps the puck moving, gets it up to Aldridge. Krzyzkowski comes on the ice. Krzyzkowski, nice steal. Passes up for Pulauskas, but it misses, sends it back down on Dabrowski. Dabrowski plays that puck up to Pulauskas off of the sideboard. Tries to work through a defender, but Honeybaked has a couple of really big players that step in the way. Rybicki forward for Pulauskas. Pulauskas comes off of the board. Tries to get a pass over to Credidio. Goes off the backboard. Krzyzkowski tied up. Comes free in the corner. Escapes and gets the puck over to Credidio. Credidio gets face planted into the boards. Pass gets past Rybicki. Campbell comes around and stops that play from happening. Pushes the puck back up on the blue line, and then Honeybaked knocks it out of play. Letcher, Nietzsche, and Brown come on the ice. .536 to go in the game. Fury's still up 1-0. Nietzsche kicks that back for Miller. Miller sends it around for Brown, but it has a really terrible bounce off of the boards, knocked away by Miller. Miller gets it off of the glass and out. Honeybaked up the near boards. Pushes it to Campbell. Campbell sends it to the sideboard for Letcher. Brown sends it in. Nietzsche has to tag up. Brown goes in on for the pressure. And Honeybaked has an unforced error and ices the puck. Nietzsche's going to take the face-off. Aldridge comes on with Prisgintis at D. Face-off to the sideboard. Letcher gets it to Aldridge. Across for Prisgintis. Prisgintis puts it in front. It hits off of Honeybaked and over to the sideboard. Honeybaked tries to get past Prisgintis. It goes to the sideboard. Prisgintis takes it away and up for Letcher. Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to get a stick off of it. Puck goes across and up the boards. Brown ties up his man. Nietzsche sends it across for Letcher. Letcher enters. Tries to get past. And Honeybaked sends it out. Puck knocked away to Letcher. Letcher escapes on the sideboard, trying to get it across. Kruger's on the ice, and Carter's come out to join him. Rubicki up for Letcher. Letcher tips it. Goaltender decides to play it. Letcher gets interfered with. Nobody saw that? .357 to go. Carter with a giant hit, and then he gets tied up. Carter sends it over to Campbell. Campbell up for Letcher. Letcher into neutral ice. Gets a change. Bergeron comes on. High puck knocked down by Rubicki. Gives Honeybaked a little bit of an opportunity. Carter tries to get it out. Honeybaked keeps it in. Puck winds up back to Carter. Carter goes for a change. Gets that puck to Bergeron. Bergeron gets interfered with. No call. Miller on the ice. Krzyzkowski and Chalicki. Bouncing puck on Dabrowski. And no rebound. Krzyzkowski, Chalicki, Bergeron, Miller, and Prisgintis. Honeybaked wins that faceoff. They get a shot on, partially blocked by Chalicki, and Dabrowski covers. 3:02 to go in the game. Still 1-0 Fury. Another faceoff won by Honeybaked. They circle on the sideboard and then get it up. Krzyzkowski gets a skate on the puck, but Honeybaked still in control. Honeybaked on sideboard, up to their D. Down low, tipped in front. Puck again winds up in front of Dabrowski. Miller ties him up, but gets a... Puck does get sent down. That'll be an icing. But we'll get a change. Rubicki comes on. Didio, Palauskas, and Nietzsche come on the ice. Aldridge and Rubicki at D. Rubicki sends it over. Honeybaked still battling with it. Puck clearing attempt held by Honeybaked for a second. Honeybaked pulled their goaltender. There hasn't been a lot of offense from either team, and Honeybaked pulled a goalie with about 2:15 to go. That'll be an icing. Oh, with the 6th attacker, we're going to send out Krzyzkowski and Letcher, two of our better defensive forwards, with Chalicki. Face-off underneath Letcher, taken by Honeybaked. They try to send it back down low. Letcher gets to it and pins. Letcher trying to waste as much clock as possible. Honeybaked trying to dig it out. Letcher still with it. Honeybaked knocks it away, and they go over to the corner. Back down low. Rubicki needs to tie him up. He gets it up the sideboard. It bounces off, and Kushkowski sends it down, and that'll be the empty netter. Kushkowski with 2 today.
Hey, you racing it. I'll pick that back.
So empty net goal, it's 2-0 Fury with 1:29 to go. Kushkowski with the second goal. Kruger, Credidio, Bergeron come on the ice. Face-off one back to Miller, over to Campbell. Campbell gets one chipped in. Goaltender plays it behind. Puck lines up with Bergeron over to Credidio. Puck to the sideboard. Honeybaked comes down. Tries to get past Campbell. Bergeron tries to clear. Honeybaked still with it. Shot goes wide of Dabrowski and then out of play. 54.5 seconds to go. Face-off, won by Kruger over to Campbell. Kruger dumps his guy for good measure. Campbell sends it up to Bergeron. Bergeron tries to chip it forward, knocks off of the board, and then blocked in front. Honeybake's still with it. Kruger puts his guy into the boards. Puck goes to Miller. Miller clears. It hits off of Honeybaked. Credidio racing down, comes on the sideboard. Carter comes on. $18 seconds to go. Puck underneath Dabrowski. He covers. 14 seconds left. Credidio comes off. Brown comes on. Kruger came off the ice, and they need him for the face-off. Brown comes in to take the face-off. Wins it over to Przgintis. Przgintis around for Kruger. Up to Carter. Carter to Brown. Bounces off of Brown's stick. Carter knocks it back to Przgintis, and that'll do it. So final 2-0, and we're off for the weekend with a 1-0 start. So we have a 9 a.m. game tomorrow against TI. And then we'll play Sunday against Milwaukee. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow morning.